Okay, I'm with the guitarist and director of the music video by Captain Danger called Holly, Aaron Steinberg. You're from Santa Monica, correct?
At the moment, originally San Francisco and then New York for a long time in the middle.
And now in Santa Monica. So tell me about this music video and this idea. So you're okay. First of all, how long has the band been around for?
Well, the drummer and I, whose name is Roger Juice Benford, he and I have been together for maybe 9 or 10 years, possibly. And then Keith Eady on bass came along maybe over the last 5 6 years, I would say. Um, and So when we did our recent release, we knew that we needed to make a music video, and this is what happened.
Well, it seems to be doing well. You submitted some festivals. It's getting some play. That must feel good?
It feels great. It feels great. You never know. You never know what people are going to think. Are they going to get it? Are they going to think you're? Are they not going to feel where you're coming from? But it's been so encouraging, man.
So does everybody so it's just the three of you, right? So it's a three-man band, and does everybody do vocals?
Yes.
Yeah.
In particular, Keith Eady on bass is an excellent singer. So we're playing gigs. I encourage him to never stop singing.
And where did you meet him? How did he get become a part of the band?
we met. Juice and I were playing a gig, and we needed a sub. And Keith was recommended by a friend, another musician. Although Juice and he had played together before, and we just kind of hit it off right away. There was something with the three of us, a certain approach, a certain thing you're looking to do. That you can feel with some people. Sometimes you just have chemistry. Sometimes, and it seemed like we had that. The certain things you would want to go to or try, a willingness to experiment. You know.
So what is your experience directing, like specifically directing music videos?
Well, through the years, I've made some for my own projects and for others. I directed a short film that was in one of your festivals called Chaotic Drumline Drumming with a Difference. I didn't have any part of the music in that. I just directed it. So that was a nice sort of formal experience with that. But I've made videos and films, throughout the years, my whole life. My mom had a Super 8 camera, if you if you can believe it. So as
Yeah.
a kid, screwing around with that. Those reels are 3 minutes long, so you really got to think about what you want out of it.
You're relatively young for the. I don't know, I'm assuming for the Super 8. I
Oh, yeah.
made a film with the Super 8 camera. I
Did
love
you
that
really?
film. Yeah, back in the day, I
Oh
loved
my
it.
God!
It's amazing, they're done. I guess you can still find I think you could find processing, but basically it's hard to find a place to develop the film these days.
Right, but the quality of it. The other option when I was a kid was video, and
Yeah,
at that time, the video quality was really not that great.
yeah.
Now it's quite good, but back at that time it wasn't. So the Super 8 had a texture that felt more there somehow.
Yeah, if it's the right film, with the texture does fit. It's kind of funny because your film obviously is not Super 8, but it does got the stock footage, and I just want to talk to you about the idea
Sure.
because really it's just you guys kind of like in a soundstage, I'm assuming, doing your song, and then you got coverage for your song. I'm just breaking down your film,
Break
and
it
then
down.
you have all the stock footage of space and kind of like to hit your thematic, I guess, right?
Right. So we shot actually the video in the recording studio where we did much of our recording, or at least some of it.
Okay.
The Sonic Boom Room here in Los Angeles, which is an amazing place, and it could be transformed visually by our director of photography, Dane Lawing, to look kind of, a little bit like the bridge on the Starship Enterprise. So we took this public domain sci-fi footage, B-movie footage, and sort of made a story behind it that complemented the lyrical theme of the song. But it brings in a sense of humor along with an actual sort of arc.
I was just talking about someone about public domain in the last podcast. What is I thought it was it was like 95 years or 70 years the person who owns the footage So how did, like, it seems like this is older than, this is younger than 70.
Younger than that. Yes, it's more confusing than just that. There's a copyright period where after a time the copyright lapses. But public domain footage happens different in a shorter period because the question of who owns this gets sort of thrown into no one owns it.
Yeah.
So there's a surprising amount of content that is public domain. In fact, some noted films are public domain.
I just learned today that Winnie the Pooh is public domain.
I did not know that, but for example,
Yeah,
it's
because
kind of strange.
they created it in 1921.
Ah.
Yeah, but okay, so tell me where you found this footage then, and how did you find out it was public domain? Is there a certain site that you go to, or?
Well, there's a number of them, and they probably change all the time. But I would advise anyone making films who wants to use that footage to check multiple sources. You know, if you really do your research, you'll find that you can confirm for yourself that it is okay, it is public domain. But I wouldn't just grab the first thing that someone wrote on Reddit. Hey, it's public domain. I wouldn't take Star Wars and do that.
So you broke down the film then? You kind of like, you shot I'm assuming you did coverage for like you said, in your studio, and basically of the band, you kind of got different angles, different points of view. And then did you always have in mind that you're gonna get this public domain footage?
We did have that thought. And actually it came from, I must credit Keith Eady for coming up, for kind of putting the notion in our heads. He and I had done a sort of Kraftwerk style song a little bit before that, and we made a video for that with public domain footage, and that was his idea. So we kind of took that and ran with it for our own band's video.
Gotcha. And what's the theme of the film or the music video?
Of that one?
Or no, of yours. What's the theme of yours?
Yes. So the theme of Holly is sort of two ships passing in the night, sort of not connecting, unrequited love, but as though the two people never really even understood each other. And we've probably all had those experiences where you feel like you never quite understood someone and they never quite understood you, and off you go.
Yeah.
In the film, you'll see in the public domain footage, there's two blips that come together on the screen at the beginning, and at the end, they go apart. So that was.
And you got two different people in two different pods, so they're not even. Yeah. What's the footage with the woman in the bikinis?
That was. The title is escaping me at this present moment. It was not even a B movie, a Z movie, but it actually has some known people behind it.
Yeah.
I'll have to refresh. There's actually two films cut together, to be honest. Our secret,
Gotcha.
to really make the plot work the way we wanted to, you know. But it's a fun process to see if you can integrate pre-existing stuff with what you're doing. I mean, way back in the days of when MTV showed videos, there was a number of bands' music videos that did use pre-existing footage or old movies and do that kind of stuff too.
Sure. So it's like kind of a throwback to like the 80s music
A little
videos,
bit.
like the beginning times, I guess, right?
Yeah. So we're kind of, we kind of play on some retro themes, but hopefully bring them into the present era, like the Star Trek transporter effect from the classic TV series. We jumped on that for fun.
Yeah.
And our music, does hark back to 70s and 60s pop a little bit too. So, taking elements from the past that affected you emotionally, reached you, and then putting your own spin on it.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing.
The tone wise, it's like we're having fun, right? Like even at the end of the film where you guys are all kind of being goofy and wearing like those like goggles and
right.
Yeah. And just like you're playing, like, I guess your lead singer or your bass player was doing the drums. Like, I don't know, like, it just seems like it was.
Well, the idea with putting the goggles on was the subconscious thing is that you might go to extra efforts or to try to connect with someone and still fail.
So it's a non-romantic song then. It's like it's an anti-romantic song.
It's an unrequited love song, which is in a way the most romantic kind of songs there could be, depending on how you look at it.
I like it. Okay. So yeah,
Uh,
so it's like what is it, the like Sting police where he like stalks the woman. It's like kind of
right.
thing, right? What's
So
that
yeah,
song?
every breath you take.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in our film, the
yeah,
astronauts, the male astronauts, come to the planet, shoot down the holy pterodactyl of the woman.
yeah,
They're not happy about this, and they throw rocks at them, sending back to their rocket ship, and it just doesn't work out.
yeah. But then you guys get beamed up in the end.
Well, yes, exactly. We beam away to the next adventure, providing the next soundtrack for the next group of probably unsuccessful astronauts.
So how's the band doing right now? You guys
Doing
playing some
great, man. Here in Los Angeles, we perform locally all the time. One of our favorite venues is Harvell's here in Santa Monica, which in Los Angeles terms is like ancient Rome. It's been around since 1931, which may not impress anyone on the East Coast, but over here, that's
It's a
old
long
stuff.
time.
Yeah, but still one of the coolest places in town, I
They'll
think.
laugh at you in Europe for like caring about that. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh, it's like last week.
yeah.
Uh, we've also been collaborating with some other cool artists, including Olivia Olson, who some of you may know as Marceline the Vampire Queen on Adventure Time,
Okay.
as well as Phineas and Ferb. She is Vanessa Doofenshmirtz. She is a singer and songwriter on her own, and an excellent one. So we've been performing with her and providing, playing behind her and doing shows with her, which is fun. And another collaboration is our friend Flula Borg, the crazy German DJ you may know from Pitch Perfect 2 or Conan O'Brien. He just did a new podcast. We did a theme song and some other music for him for that. If you haven't checked out Flula, I highly recommend that you do.
Great. Well, I'm on your website now. You have a pretty extensive website, so you can check out everything. Do you have all your music videos on your website?
Yes, and more coming. There's also, and we have clips on Instagram too, but if you head over to captaindanger.com,
Yeah.
you'll find all our crap.
And you have all the songs there too, right?
Yeah, all the music and videos you want to check out, and Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff to see what else we're cooking up.
So you planning another music video?
Yes, we're working on that. We're thinking that we want to try an animated route for our next one. So I hope to have word on that soon for you, Matthew.
Gotcha. And that's gonna take some time, right? Animation.
It might could, although things are speeding up in that world.
Oh, like AI kind of thing, pushing it.
I'm going to try to avoid AI if I could, because they're going to flatten us sooner or later with that, But we'll see. We'll see. We're open minded to whatever route. So we're exploring that for our next music video.
Yes, you got all your music on your website, and it's an interesting kind of world that the music industry. Obviously, I'm in the film world. We show music videos, of course, at the festival. But it seems like everything has changed in the last 10 years. Like that's sort of a cliche to say about the music industry, but like you basically like all your films, all your songs on Spotify and all the other fun channels that they're supposed to be on.
Yeah, it's all there, and the concept of music, it's almost a commercial for itself in a way that films are not yet. Here's the entire song, at your fingertips all the time. Unlike a film, you have to put a little more effort in to see it.
Yeah, well, not well. If you look at all the streaming services, like especially like after a year from now, after the film is up, you can kind of watch any film in the world.
True.
Right?
It's a strange time we're in, and the concept, the relationship between art and commerce has always been and always will be a little bit awkward, but it's really moving in that kind of direction, faster and faster and faster.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but it's sort of like you're promoting your songs for people to go see you live.
Yes, or to buy a T-shirt, a coffee mug, or pay for tickets to see us live. So it's weird. The music is a commercial for something else to do with the musician, it seems. You know,
It was almost like the opposite before, where like people would go to a show, would do a show to get people to go to buy the CD or the record player.
you're right. So now it's the reverse direction.
Yeah.
Who knows? In a few years, it may be in some other oddball. Uh,
No, I think
direction.
this is here to stay for a while. So
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, even a more severe. I don't know what that would mean, but
yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
because it seems like everybody complains that Spotify doesn't pay enough.
Oh, they pay nothing. Uh, but recently the CEO pointed out that because tools to make music are very inexpensive, that musicians should be happy that Spotify doesn't pay them. This is pretty much what he said.
Okay, so that doesn't make any sense, but okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
It
So
doesn't make it.
basically, he's basically saying it's like a YouTube analogy. Like people can post their videos on YouTube. It doesn't mean they're any good, but basically, but we'll flood YouTube with a bunch of crappy videos, so then nobody can get to the good stuff.
Or he's saying that because the tools to make and distribute music are really at your fingertips,
Yeah.
uh, you you know what expenses did you have? Well, you had to buy instruments. You had to spend years
No,
learning to play them and
I
use
get
them.
it, I get it, but still, but it's all about. But it's at the same time, it's like your talent is the compensation, right? So
Right, but at the same time, your love of what you're doing
yeah,
is what matters, and
the
hopefully,
the hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of music lessons and guitar lessons that cost something, right? So I don't know where he's coming from. So
yeah, yeah. But exactly. So what does he mean? But you know, there's that's not the only reason you do it. Hopefully you do it
yeah.
because it's meaningful for you, and you hope that it's meaningful for other
No, I
people.
understand. I get it. Yeah, I totally get it. But it seems like, but at the same time, it's like it was like you could get it's there's that we're both in that generation where we pined for the days of like of newspapers and non-social media. Like I make a living on social media, so I'm like
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like they're still longing for the old days, right? So
How are you balancing it, Matthew? How are you handling it?
I don't know. Just basically, I saw something happen in 2007, and I took advantage of it. I guess I don't know, taking advantage of it is the best choice of words, but I saw an opening and I went for it. So I liked it at the beginning, and then right away I saw within a year I saw like really real nastiness on Facebook, and
Yeah.
then I just had to disengage, and I just had to basically just do it for promotion, right? But it was
Yes.
sad because I liked the idea, the concept. It was, I'm sure the founders of social media had the same idealistic notion, right? So, but it's just like Twitter is like now is just like it's terrible, or X or
Mm.
whatever you want to call it, right? So
We can call it Twitter. God damn it.
no, but it's just like it's just really hard. But then you have to like certain people have to like myself have to use it, right? So,
Sure. You do the
but
best you can, right?
yeah, but if it all blows up and goes away, I wouldn't be sad about it.
You
Let's
wouldn't
put it
be
that way,
sad, right?
right? But I don't think that's going to happen, right? So,
No, probably not.
and
Probably not. But I wanted to ask, how did you get the concept for the Feedback Film Festival?
uh, so basically, what happened was that I was making films in 2005, 2006. So I worked in the industry, got out, started making films.
Hmm.
I made like 11 short films within like 15 months, and like three,
Wow.
four of them did really well. Like two of them did really well on the
Wow.
festival circuit. And then I went on a tour, a festival tour, and I timed up my films, and then they were playing at certain cities and stuff like that. And I was dissatisfied with the experience. It was fun because it was about there was a connecting, and I still know some of these people to this day, and there
Mhm.
was like that kind of fun. But then I didn't really like the screening. Sometimes the screenings weren't a large. Sometimes they were great crowds, but sometimes they weren't large crowds. But you do the Q&A, and it was just like people wouldn't tell you what they thought about the film, and I always wondered what people thought about my film, like really thought about my film, right? Without
Yeah.
me being there and without me kind of like because soon as I'm there, then they just it's all platitudes, right?
Sure.
So that's when I came up with the idea. So I got home from like I was tired and I got home and I woke up in the middle of the night and just and basically had an epiphany and say, I'm gonna come up with a feedback festival, and basically just went on without a box back in the day and just started it. And it basically it's a different world though, right? It's a way different world because I told like I said I'm going to program, I'm going to show it this at the National Film Board of Canada. I didn't tell the National Film Board of Canada that yet, but they found out later, and then basically they were okay with it. but but
Really?
basically, but basically, like that's the way it was. It was all like it was the Wild West out there, right? Like on the
Good for
internet.
you, man.
But then I learned. I had to learn because it wasn't. You give people a live mic and it becomes. It's not like it. Then you didn't after like 15 festivals. I kind of figured it out, and then
Mm,
yeah, then it kind of like, and then I had to learn how to run a business. That was another factor, which took a
mm.
long time. So
Of course.
yeah,
Of course. Well, what a great concept. I just applaud you for thinking of it and then bring it to fruition.
yeah.
It's
But it's
fun.
just it's about the grind. I always call it. It's about just about grinding and grinding away every day, right? So it's like learning an instrument, right? So
Sure. Sure.
right,
Yeah,
'cause you,
absolutely.
yeah, because you have to grind it out. You have to practice, 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 and you can't take a day off, right? So
Never. And I bet it leads you in, I bet you'll find it leads you into new territories, new avenues.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah, I've recreated things 3 times over, right? So I'm in the midst of doing a little bit of it right now. So yeah,
Well, I'll be keeping an eye on you, Matthew, because I think it's such a fun and refreshing concept. Interacting is what this is all supposed to be about. And here you are
100%.
really doing it.
So
How
what did
cool.
you think? We send the audience to you. What did you think of what they had to say about your
I,
music video?
and I loved it. First of all, we were happy that they enjoyed it and liked it.
Yeah,
And we're also encouraged that they got it.
yeah,
That's really nice here. They all got it. They all knew where we're coming from. So that's on us. Did we put out what we meant to? In this case, apparently we did. Cool. So that's energizing. And it's also just fun to hear, and I'm sure your filmmakers always tell you this, it's fun to hear what specific things people will pick up on.
yeah,
Many people will pick up on X, Y, or Z, and it's just fun to hear that as an artist. What is it that reached people? What
yeah,
was it about this piece that they related to or liked or didn't like or whatever? It's just a great thing, man.
yeah. So you submit to festivals. It's playing. It played at a few festivals. I'm curious. What is your motivation to send a music video to film festivals?
Well, one thing is just a great way to get the work out there to, increase the people who may like what you're doing. It's and it, once it's a music video anymore, it's not just a song; it's a piece of film, and
Mhm.
hopefully the elements in it aren't, have something worthwhile from a film perspective. So why not seek out the people who think that way? It's not just a commercial for a song. It's its own piece of work. So why not expand in that direction if you can? I mean, obviously, if you look at a band like OK Go, they, I mean, their music was cool, but wow, those videos were unbelievable.
Yeah,
So I think thinking in those broad terms is exciting.
yeah, 100%. Well, your film is like I call it a film. Is fun. It's just a fun viewing, and even the way you shot the a nice direction, by the way. Even when you shot the band, including yourself, you guys are just happy. Like you're. It's like you know what I mean. It's like a cliche, but it seems like you're very happy to be there. Like you're
Oh,
just
we are, man. You hit it on the head. I think
yeah,
that you know if you're going to play music, you want to bring joy and energy to people. That's the point. Even if you're playing a sad song or something, you
yeah,
still want to bring energy and joy to people. And so, if you're playing music with people you vibe with, you're going to feel that joy or should,
yeah.
So I'm glad you picked up on that.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with this film and your band and everything, and keep playing those gigs and keep promoting your website. And let's talk again when you make your next film.
We will, man. Thank you so much, Matthew. Really appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you.